Hello, everybody. Elizabeth Johnston here of Own Your Creativity. And I'm super excited today to be talking to Alex Owen-Hill. Both he and I are part of the Strength in Numbers gift giveaway, and it's day 6 of the giveaway, which ends on December 13th. So it's coming up to the end quickly. But so we're here today to learn a little bit more about Alex. And so could you start off by telling us what you do and who you serve?
Sure. So I work with people who have their own businesses and people who work in companies as well. And I help them to talk about their business in such a way that the people that they want to connect with and engage with will be able to understand them and appreciate what it is that they have to offer. And I do that through presentation coaching. I do that through content marketing. And I also just really work with people to find the voice of their business.
Ah, okay. And is there something special, some of like your secret sauce that you bring to this whole package?
Sure, yeah. So despite often my appearances, I'm quite a shy, introverted engineer by training.
Oh,
I have a background in robotics, PhD in robotics. But my
wow.
family are all actors. So I grew up as the only introverted engineer in a family of actors and acting teachers. And I got to the world of business and discovered that all of these things that actors do from day one, they get taught how to be on stage, how to have presence, how to really engage with people. Most of the people in the world don't know what those skills are. They'd never get taught it. So I suddenly realized that I had this kind of secret skill that nobody else had. And I've become a conduit of that information to.
Wow. And it kind of sounds like, maybe if previously you felt like a little bit of like an outsider in your family because they're all artists and you're a robotics engineer, that did it kind of like bridge the gap for you, or like could you bring those two sides of yourself together? Or
yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always done some forms of performance. I've always played some music. I've been a bit of a poet and stand-up poet. But I do kind of always joke that most actors say, "Oh, I always wanted to be an actor, but my parents, they wanted me to have a serious job." And I'm completely the opposite. I was like, I always wanted to have a serious job, but my parents were all actors, But yeah, certainly in my business, I've been able to combine both of those things, and it's a good.
that's
it's nice
awesome.
to have that kind of integration. Finally, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So what does strength in numbers mean to you?
Well, I think that one of the things that we have with online businesses in particular is that it kind of feels like everyone's doing online business and that there's just millions of people, and how will we reach them? But when you really start to work on communities and you have a community of people who are trying to achieve similar things, suddenly it feels like you've got a kind of family. And although the numbers maybe aren't like 7 billion, they're a strong community, which is what we're all trying to kind of develop in our online and indeed offline businesses.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us a little bit more about your gift that you're giving during the giveaway that's going to help businesses up-level their game.
So this is something that is quite related to what you do, probably. It's about how to use storytelling in your presentations. And as I say, I'm quite an introverted person, and I'm not a natural storyteller. My mum was always the natural storyteller in our family, and as a result, I didn't really tell stories, to the extent that a little while ago I called her up and she started telling me this story. And it was this story about how she'd been having an argument with my sister, and my sister was tired, and it was an icy day, and she painted all of this story until she got to the point where she said, and she was driving in her car and she turned the corner and there was a man on the corner and she slipped on the ice in her car. The car went up a side verge and she flipped over her car upside down. And I thought, most mothers would have said, your sister's flipped the car upside down. Don't be worried, she's fine. But my mum painted this story all the way through. And me being a bit of a story geek, being an engineer by training, I've kind of learnt a lot of story theory over the time to try and fill this gap in my knowledge. And that's what is the gift that I've provided, is helps you to do it. It's kind of it's the first time I've released this online course. There's an online course in it, and then there are some other kind of bonus resources that you can get, and it really teaches you how to structure your story, how to develop ideas for stories, and how to become a better storyteller if you're not a natural storyteller, or indeed if you're a natural storyteller, it can maybe to up level you by providing you that kind of base knowledge of how stories work.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. So the strengthinnumbers.business/gift giveaway is the link. It's posted here below the video. Make sure that you get your gifts before they disappear on December 13. And so thanks so much, Alex, for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me.